Ne. I believe that's Klingon for greeting. I'm not sure. I don't have my dictionary on me. I forgot to bring it with me. I'm pretty sure it's greetings, just mispronounced. Hopefully it wasn't mispronounced into something offensive. But yeah, so the subject of today involves Klingons, and the subject is Star Trek. Today is September 8th, 2008, and 42 years ago, hey, it's 42, I love the number 42, and come on, Douglas Adams is at work here. 42 years ago, the episode The Man Trap aired on TV, and that was the first episode of Star Trek ever aired on TV, and it pretty much changed my life. I know that sounds cheesy. That episode didn't really, but the idea of, but Star Trek, I think, in general, did. My parents were both fans of Star Trek. They didn't watch it when it first aired because they were too young. Although maybe they did. I should ask them. Like maybe they sat up like when they were 5 or 6 and watched it at like 11 at night in their footy pajamas. I don't know. I need to ask that. See, that's another great thing about Star Trek. It's family. You get to build on your family with it. And the next part of there's 2 parts in Star Trek that have really affected my life, I think. And the first one, the great memories I have, actually is one that I don't really remember, and it's mostly based on a photo. And the thing is, when my parents were young, they decided to raise me on, well, when they like watching TV. And so they would watch with me TV, and yeah, we'd watch Sesame Street and stuff, but they'd also like let me stay up, or I'd sit with them asleep and watch other stuff. So essentially, when I was 2, I was growing up on MacGyver and Next Generation, which is pretty awesome. And when I was, again, when I was 2, my parents thought it would be funny to dress me up as a red shirt for Halloween, and the entire family, we dressed up as Starfleet officers, and I was a red shirt, and I don't know if they either had an amazing sense of humor, or if they're just really, if they just had some twisted idea there. But I just remember that photo and the idea of that, and that's just a really nice memory that Star Trek has given me. And the other thing that Star Trek has given me, or helped lead me to, is to reclaim my geekiness. Back in around 7th or 8th grade, well, it started in 6th, I started like losing interest in science fiction and geek stuff in general, and comics and so on. And I wasn't really that interested, but then in 8th grade, I started watching Enterprise a little, and I know everyone pretty much thinks it's horrible, and I agree a lot of it was bad, but it started getting me interested in Star Trek again. And I found a book called, actually by the book, and it was the first Enterprise novel, actual novel, not novelization, that came out. And the story was basically about a couple of like the ensigns, most of the one, like they had Cutler there, one of my favorite characters from Enterprise, even though she only appeared in like 2 episodes. But she was in it, and the idea was that the little red shirt people tried to make a role-playing game, and there was a great line in it that I still remember and I love, that they were trying to create a character, and one of the guys says, okay, I want to name my guy Mr. Doom, and she's like, Mr. Doom? You don't want like something cool like Dr. Doom? He's like, nah, that's been done already, I want to call him Mr. Doom. And it's such a cheesy line. I just really remember that scene. It just always makes me chuckle whenever I think of it. And the thing was, the Enterprise book, it got me interested in 2 things. 1, reading Star Trek novels, and 2, it made me want to roleplay again. And the first one, I think, was the more positive effect. It led me to look for more Star Trek books. I found some Enterprise, but eventually I found a book called New Frontier, or a new book series called New Frontier. And it was written by Peter David. And I got the first book. I was in a bookstore and I found a used section, and they had like a pot, just a huge like row of New Frontier books, and the first 4 were skinny because they were trying to like sell it on people, like say, hey, we'll give you like 150 pages for a few bucks, kind of like the Green Mile thing that King did. And so I got the book, and I brought it with me on my trip to Australia. My first time out of the country, I brought Peter David with me and was reading it, and it just really impressed me, and I got sucked into the story and all the new characters, and I got really into it, and I was really sad when I finished the first one and I didn't have the second one there to read. So during the rest of the summer, I was picking up every single New Frontier book I could find, and eventually I read a lot more. And I was wondering if Peter David had a website, so I found his website, and I found some other books he wrote, so I read them. And then there was something about, he wrote a comic about the Hulk. I didn't know that you could write comics also in a novel. So I went and I took a look at the comic. I thought, well, I'll pick it up. The only things I'm buying anyway are pretty much Ultimate Spider-Man, which I think was crap. because that was during the time when it wasn't good anymore, and Star Wars comics, which were decent, but like I wasn't really into comics. So I went in and I bought the Hulk, and I was amazed with it again, with his writing. And then I found out he wrote another comic series, so then I started reading that one, and I wanted to like discuss it. So then I found websites like Newsarama and CBR, and I started reading them, and then I found columns and articles and talking about other books, and I started reading those, and I just became so obsessed with comics, and then that led into podcasts and everything else. Because there's two main things in my life I've changed it: hitchhiking and Star Trek. And this is the part where the two of them were combined together, and that was role playing. And way back when, I used to be on RP forum for Star Trek, and I met some great people there. Some amazing things, discussions about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy came out of that. But I'm still not sure if that was a good idea to do it or not. I'm not really sure what the effects are, if playing a potato-based character, red shirt, was a good idea for my sanity. I'm not really sure, but frankly I think it wouldn't have mattered, because as soon as I read by the book, I was sucked back into nerdom, and there was no way I would ever escape. So yeah, that's my Star Trek story. If you have any that you want to share, post a comment, leave a response. I might start a discussion on the Ning, and live long and prosper. And also, hoo-ha, nerd fighters!